Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you had a great Labor Day weekend. I sure did, and I'm going to attach a couple clips in this video. I went on a kayaking trip on Sunday, which was really nice. A friend of mine invited me to go with him, and I just wanted to get some sunshine and just be out in the elements. So check out this footage, and I will touch base with you guys in a sec. Hey guys, I'm just chilling right now. I just capsized my boat, as you probably know already, but we are having a great day. It's just such a beautiful day. There's a lot of people out here. It's Labor Day weekend of 2021. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. We'll touch base soon. So today I thought I would talk about the effects of working in the adult film industry and the good effects of it and the bad effects of it. The main reason I thought I would talk about this subject is because the friend who I went kayaking with actually brought up a point to me regarding, attractive guys that are around you and how I react to attractive guys around me. So let's get right into this. First, I want to give a shout out to some Patreon members. I have a couple new ones. So Tim Hicks, Gaston F., Joe Lagan, Anthony, Joshua Patterson, and Jason. Thank you guys so much for supporting me on Patreon. I hope you're enjoying all of my content over there. And if you guys are interested in getting to know me on a deeper level, you should definitely check out my Patreon. Alright guys, let's get right into this video. So like I said, my friend said something to me this weekend that really stuck with me. And we were driving to the lake. I had just dropped off my car, and we were driving to the other end of the river where we were going to be launching our kayaks. So it was really busy, of course, because it was Labor Day weekend, and there was tons of college kids out, just people of all different backgrounds. There was just a bunch of people. So we got to our parking spot, and I would say perpendicular to us, there was probably a group of like 8 guys, and they all had their shirts off, and they were looking good, but my friend was just eyeing them down and just couldn't take his eyes off of them. I gave him a quick glance, but I wasn't really, taken back by them or anything like that. And as soon as we parked and we got out of the truck, he said, "Oh, you're probably not even fazed by hot guys like that with their shirts off anymore, are you?" And it made me think about it, and I was like, I'm really not. And he said something else regarding me working in adult film and how that probably has to do with it. And I agreed with him, and I really thought about that, and it made me think, wow, I'm not as just amazed and in awe by the sight of a couple hot guys with their shirts off. I'm not at all. I thought about how I would have reacted if I hadn't gone into the adult film industry and been with so many attractive, hot guys. I probably would have reacted and probably would have been staring at them and just talking about them, but I wasn't. And it made me feel a little weird. So let's get into some of the bad side effects of working in the adult film industry and how they've affected me personally. So after that comment that he made, I realized that I'm really not driven to date or flirt with guys that aren't really showing attention to me. I'm not really in it for the chase anymore as much as I was when I was still in college and before I went into this industry. I used to chase a lot of guys, and I never really knew what guys were in my ballpark or in my league, but I would just go after any guy that I was into, and that would sometimes disappoint me and have disadvantages because I would get rejected, but I knew that that's just all part of the dating game, and I was willing to be rejected in hopes of meeting that one that felt the same way as me. I did end up meeting a guy in college where this worked out, and we ended up dating, and it was very organic and genuine. So I would say that now in my life, I do not put myself out there as much. And part of that is also because I work from home. I don't have a regular 9-to-5 job or like a desk job. So I don't really come into contact with a lot of people unless it's during the weekends when I'm out with my friends being social or at events and stuff like that. I'm more focused on working. That's what I find myself focusing on most in my life right now is my business and trying to accomplish my business goals more so than putting myself out there on like Tinder and other dating sites. I used to spend so much of my time on these dating apps and dating sites, just talking to guys, dating guys, going out on dates, and it just gets really exhausting after a while, and it becomes so just the fun of it is taken out of it when you do it so much and so often. So I took a break from that for a while, and I still date here and there, but like I said, I really just focus on my work and the things that I want to accomplish. Because I want to be self-sufficient even more so than I am now when I am ready to put myself out there. I don't want to have a bunch of baggage and problems that are bothering me and causing me anxiety. So I want to be my best me before I start dating and putting myself out there. So another thing I wanted to mention that is probably a bad side effect of working in this industry is that a lot of people tend to think that I'm always thinking about you know what in my head, and that's like my top priority and that's all I care about, and it's just so far from the truth. You guys probably think as well that I'm always thinking about that, but in reality, I have so many hobbies that I like to do, such as painting and hiking and even kayaking and just being outdoors. It's kind of like my side hobby. Of course, I still enjoy it, but it's not on my mind constantly, and I don't have to make inappropriate jokes all the time or, say things about certain people I find attractive whenever I see somebody that's I think is hot. I don't have to be like, oh, wow, and this and that, and make up a bunch of like inappropriate jokes. So I'm really not thinking about you know what all the time, but I still do. It's not like a thought that I don't have anymore. So, but I will say that's a downfall because I do have to correct people sometimes and be like, can we talk about something else? Like, can we joke about something else? Are you into anything else? So that's another thing. Another bad side effect that has affected me is judgment from certain family members. I made a video a couple years ago about an aunt that is now passed away. Rest in peace, Aunt Kathy. But she sent me a message a couple years ago, and it was one of the most hurtful messages ever. And you guys can check out that video. I'll link it in my description if you want to check that video out. But it was just very hurtful, and especially since I hadn't heard from her before this, and I actually saw her at a family function a couple months after she sent that message, and she just completely ignored me. I said hi to her. She looked the other way. It was very immature and just disgusting behavior from an aunt that I thought loved me. But anyway, I have also experienced judgment from closer family members of mine. Not as harsh, but still hurtful and demeaning. Now, my close family members who I grew up with, they don't all disagree, but I know from a father's perspective and probably a mother's perspective, they would probably want to see their child doing anything else or anything other than working in this industry. But it's really worked out for me, and I've made it into something more. I've been able to twist it and turn it into a much bigger phenomenon in my life. And My mom truly sees that. I know that for a fact. But I have faced subtle comments, negative comments from other family members that just kind of hurts and bothers me because I've never asked them for any money and they don't pay my bills. So even if I weren't doing this type of job, they would still have something to say. So that's the way I think about it. But if you are truly bothered by others' opinions of you and your life decisions, then this may not be the right line of work to even think about. So let's get into some of the good effects of working in this industry. I have definitely found a new respect for myself, especially after being in this industry for the past 3 to 4 years. I look at myself in the mirror differently. I know what I can get and I know what I bring to the table. And that goes for more than just in the bedroom. It goes for job interviews and talking to people and networking. I know how different I am. And I know that I'm not just like the next guy down the street. So it gives me a lot of confidence and motivation to really put myself out there and grab the things that I know I can achieve in my life, which is anything that I want or need. I also realize how hard it is to do what I've done. It takes so much courage to kind of just put everything on the back burner and take a huge leap of faith like I did when I joined the industry. And there is a lot of people that just would not allow themselves to do that. And I was in such a tough part of my life that I was just willing to do whatever it took to be self-sufficient and live like I'm living right now in my own apartment at 23 years old and not asking from anybody for any help, any money. Like I'm just so proud of myself, and I know how hard this is to do because I do it every single day. And if I was working 2 or 3 jobs, I know I wouldn't have the quality of life that I have right now. Another thing that's good is that I stopped chasing guys. I stopped subjecting myself to being used and just rejected and stomped on. And that is just such a great feeling because I don't need that acceptance anymore. I'm not running to just feel accepted from guys that I find attractive. And it's really a toxic mindset to get into if you allow yourself to kind of stay in that mindset. So I'm happy that the adult film industry gave me like this newfound courage to stand up and just not worry about trying to find a date or a boyfriend, just knowing that it's going to come to me one day. I also have a new outlook on life. I have new goals that I never thought I would have just 4 years ago when I was still in college. I have a newfound financial freedom, meaning I can pay my bills on time, I can pay back my student loans, I can pay back my credit card. It's just such a good feeling to know that you're able to afford your life and you're not overspending or overstepping your boundaries and living outside of your means. I think a lot of people get into that problem when they start making money. They start thinking that they can afford things just because on paper they earn enough each month. But once they start getting these fancy houses and fancy cars and car payments and new cell phones and all of that, it starts to add up, and it takes a certain discipline to be able to organize all of your finances and not overspend in such a drastic way that's going to affect your life in a bad way one day. Because I've seen it happen. By the grace of God and the Holy Spirit, I'm allowed to pay for the things that I need and for the things that I want in my life. But I have never, ever forgotten the value of $1. That's one thing that my dad really taught me growing up, is to work for the things and save for the things that you want and need. And it'll feel so much better when you actually have the money to pay for something rather than when you're having to take money out of other bank accounts or so on and so forth. My new future goals consist of evolving Richie West as a brand and starting a website and starting my painting on a bigger scale than I've ever done before. And I have a bunch of different ideas and people that are helping me get there. It's just a process, so I appreciate you guys sticking along with me on this ride. Alright guys, well, those are some of the good and bad side effects of working in the adult film industry. It truly has changed my life in a good way. Of course, with anything, there's going to be disadvantages and downfalls, but it's up to you to balance those and create your perfect equilibrium. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I also want to say that I'm doing my first YouTube live stream on Thursday. I'm really excited. I've never done one before, and I just want to see how it goes and, kind of just test it out. So I hope to see you guys there. I'm planning to do it at 1 p.m. Pacific time, so hopefully you guys will be there. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on Thursday. Bye, guys.